Alright, Earthlings, welcome back to the channel. We are coming to you from the Valley of Andor, where we're going to be slaying some zombies in the Dark One's name and talking about The Wheel of Time, Season 3, Episode 7. Probably. It's a game stream of consciousness, who knows?
But before we do that, hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe if you would be so kind to swear the dark oaths to us. Now, episode 7, the battle for Emond's Field. I'm going to say that was an interesting episode for some good reasons and also some not so good reasons.
Good things that we saw, things that we liked. Let's start there because it's always best to save the bad news for last in case Rafe is listening. We want him to feel good and included.
Yes, absolutely.
So, things that were cool. I really enjoyed the fact that we got to see the entire battle take place in one episode. That was pretty awesome. That was smart. I think it was really sweet to have a kind of a... I don't know why I keep thinking this, but it reminds me of that scene in Iron Man where Tony Stark, dressed up in his very first ghetto, bits in a cave, iron suit, comes out, and Iron Man plays, and he just starts wrecking shit, kind of like beat for beat stepping out. That was very, very reminiscent of Perrin grabbing the hammer. The drum beat starts, and then just like step for step, just... one hand, two hand, one dead Trolloc. One hand, two hand, one dead Trolloc. Like, just mechanical badassery, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it was definitely funny. And then Faile taking up the rear and doing her song and dance, slicing Trollocs left, right, and center with two small knives, because that makes sense in a battle.
Yeah, it's really hard to put, like, badass characters that are, like, a half the size of the Trollocs out there fighting and making it believable. And I think they did an admirable job, at least, like, she wasn't sitting there swinging a longsword and cutting Trollocs' heads off. She was hamstringing Trollocs. She was stabbing them repeatedly from behind. She was...
Yeah.
They tried to make it believable.
Yeah, my comment is definitely not to diminish the actress or how that it was filmed, because I rather quite enjoyed it. I mean, like, you know, it's a fantasy show. You gotta suspend disbelief, and, you know, she's in the books referred to as quick-wristed and things like that, and quite handy with a knife. So, you know, it all fits in her character, and it is fun to watch. But no, yeah, like when you have, you know, massive Perrin coming up, tromping through everything with his axe and his hammer, like sort of Iron Man-esque, as you said. It's a good analogy. And then she's coming up on the rear doing all her like stealth quickness, almost more akin to like a assassin than like a warrior.
Yeah, she was very like ninja-like, wasn't she?
Yeah, how fast she would like jump around on them and stuff like that. But no, yeah, that was definitely that was cool. I really liked Alana's hailstorm that just rained down on the Trollocs and Dark Friends at the beginning in the mountain pass. That was definitely fun to see. Though,
in retrospect, did it not seem a little underwhelming that was all she did? Like, I agree, it was a really cool use of the power right away. We should get out of here.
Yes.
Really cool use of the power. It's not something we've seen very often. Ooh, the box is right here. But at the same time, it was like a one-and-done shot, you know? Like, she tried it once, and then she just kind of walked down like, all right, cool, job done. And I was thinking to myself, what about the rest of the Trollocs? Like, I know they're, like, tactically retreating and, like, faking you out and stuff to bait you, but, man, you guys are really easily baited if some Trollocs led by Padden Fane just... You're the Battle Age representative here, Alana. You're the one who's talking about leading an army, and I don't know if you've got the chops to even, you know, lead this kind of small group. These 3 channelers, and you still just kind of bailed instantly. You don't have very many good battle sense, do you, Alana?
Yes, like
I went downstairs, by the way.
It is nice. Like, yeah, it is over like really quick. That attack, like, it falls down. It's dope for 5 seconds. The Trollocs break way too quickly. Well, actually, not necessarily way too quickly, because it is technically part of the plan if you want to go for that. And then, then she comes down the mountain without staying on the high point where she has the advantage and can see and knows what to do. She then comes down the mountain, and as she's walking out of the forest, gets, you know, penetrated by a massive Trolloc shaft. Yeah,
and would you not think that something that large would have penetrated much deeper and been pretty much unrecoverable from?
I think it would have gone straight through. Like, it would have been a through and through wound. So, like, you know, probably, like, because Trolloc, like, arrow things, you know, they're like, small, I mean, like, well, like, yeah, small branches, you know, they're really thick, so, and the force that was going there, I got a feeling, yeah, it would have just gone straight through, and she probably would have ended up, I mean, either slowly bleeding to death, or dying of the infection quick after.
Right.
It was just it was a massive shaft. I mean, like, they didn't even, like, pretend. It was the size, it was, like, it was as tall as her and probably as thick as your frickin' as a man thumb.
Yeah, that's exactly how Perrin actually describes the Trolloc, whatchamacallit, the
arrow,
Trolloc
the
shaft
shafts.
that he gets shot with.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I just ran right through that. I didn't even reload myself.
That's alright. I only got
I'm still trying to adjust all the volume levels and stuff, and it's really screwing me up. Like, if I sound like I'm yelling at you, it's because the sound that's coming through, the cinematics are way fucking loud.
Nah, you sound fine. And
okay.
besides, that shit I can fucking fix in post.
Yeah.
But, no, yeah, like, so, like, it definitely, I guess the only reason, I guess you can, like, the reason it would have to stay in her is because the argument that I gave, if it would have gone through and through, she probably would have died way quicker. And there's a reason why, you know, they keep the barb in. Oh, shit.
Well, I don't even know why they had to make it, like, have another moment where she almost dies.
Oh, no, it was unnecessary, yeah.
Yeah, you could have absolutely had them continue the fight. She noticeably gets tired. The two rivers noticeably have to get pushed back. Make it a lot more methodical rather than chaotic, I suppose. And I know these are all a bunch of untrained villagers and farmers, technically, but that's really not how it ever comes across in the books. Like, in the books, yes, they're untrained villagers and farmers that are actually secretly giant badasses who have been training to be sharpshooters since they could, you know, draw a bow, who have been tracking and hunting their game for their entire lives and have the old blood running through them strongly. Like, they're quietly badass in real life in the books, and I wish they would have had a little bit more of that there instead of this really chaotic, disorganized melee. And giving Maxim the moment to rally the troops, it fell backwards to me a little bit. It was a nice speech, and it led to that really great song, that battle hymn that we don't hear very often, or not so much a battle hymn, but that the Emond's Field song. This is the son of King Emond.
Yeah.
And got it. Like, there are very few moments in this show that I can say that give me goosebumps. I did get goosebumps right there. So that's a massive credit to the song and the writing choice and everything right there. But I wish they had given that moment to Perrin instead of Maxim, because honestly, I don't care about Maxim.
Well, no. Perrin is the one who sings that song. Oh, fuck off.
Well, we've been thinking about the other time that.
But the Maxim is the one who charges them. Like, you know, like armies don't win wars. What win battles?
That's
There's
right,
people who are too stupid to die, and too mean to let the wheel take them out. So you stick a spoke in there and you take as many of these bastards out with you.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. So okay, they
did give.
I was
Perrin,
right and wrong, but
yeah.
they still. Maybe it was just. Oh shoot! I didn't even realize they were down. Fuck my life. Sorry, dude. Totally zoned out.
Oh, my friends, meine Damen und Herren, the irony.
Do you want to know the real irony? The real irony? I saved you.
That's
failed
because
you forgot forever. You forgot forever.
I went around and I almost got back to you.
You legit said while you're running around, you
seconds,
forgot.
Okay?
We can play the tape back. I can't believe we're coming back to this again, people. This is hilarious.
You're the one who you opened up the door by almost forgetting me.
By almost. Keyword almost.
You didn't do as bad
almost
as
is doing
I did.
a lot of heavy lifting.
As I said, you didn't do as bad as I did, but you didn't do great either. Like, what do you want a medal for saving me? Come on, man.
Yeah, actually, that in real life, that shit's badass, and I risked my life to save a comrade and dragged him out of the fire in the shadow of Thakandar. Better believe I want to get a promotion or a medal out of that from the Dragon Reborn afterwards, god damn it.
Hey, like the Confederate Army, the Dragon Reborn don't issue citations for merit.
Okay, I want at least give me a mention in a dispatch. Then how about that?
Yes.
You Ken Burns watching person.
I know, right? Way to completely switch it up. But to go back to Emond's Field, because we don't want to. We're on this one, I think.
The stream of consciousness is a dangerous place to be in sometimes. It wonders.
Yeah, it is, because we just, I just segued into the Civil War. And the Civil War is a great fucking topic, but let's continue into the Civil War in Andor, because that's exactly what's happening. Perrin has raised the wolf head banner unwittingly, but he has now committed treason against Queen Morghese. He should be executed according to Elaine.
Yeah.
Well, I guess now I just went on to a completely other different tangent. I meant to go back to the fucking show.
Now you're going forward to when Elaine becomes, queen cunt and tries to pull that shit on him. But again, we're going too far afield.
Yes.
Let's rein it back into episode 7.
Yeah. I really disliked as soon as I don't have Juggernog.
Oh, crap.
And I'm 10 short of it, yeah.
Alright, I've got to come around and grab you.
Alright, there is
balls. No! Oh, wow, that was... I never even made it past the golem. There were like 4 in front of me, and I tried to jump over him, and he got me. Oof. Well, you know what? This is... Okay. We'll call it a warm-up round, or an inauspicious start, or...
An inauspicious start is
or a good opportunity...
to mow a few Trolloc heads.
Exactly. Alright.
We're just going to redo that map.
Yeah, it's a good map to rock and roll on. Plus, yes. I was screwing around with the settings and stuff, and I finally... It still looks kind of weird. I don't know what exactly the difference is. It might even show up when you... when you look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I just realized I don't think I ever updated the drivers.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So I bet this is running on just like... I don't even know what it's running on. I mean, it's obviously running on the graphics card, but what driver state it's running on, I have no idea.
That's funny. Everything else worked perfectly for the file transfer and shit like that, but we forgot a fundamental piece.
Yeah, how did I forget? Thank God this is such an old game that it doesn't.
Yeah, that it doesn't matter.
Like there's got to be some kind of a driver on here. Obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like Microsoft, they definitely downloaded the base drivers. You just need the specialized.
Yeah, I need the game driver, the game ready driver. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even actually have a hardware monitor I can pull up right now because I don't think I have GeForce Experience installed. Yeah, I don't. So I can't pull up a resource monitor. I can't even see what my frames are. But well, the frames are not the problem. I don't know. It just looks different. Anyway, musings of upgrading to Windows 11. It's inevitable evil, I suppose.
Inevitable.
It has nothing to do with the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, no. All right, so going back to Emond's Field for the 5th and final fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was going to say that I didn't like at the moment, but I'll just pick something else. No, I'll pick something that I did like.
Yeah, good call.
Fuck. Shit. See, I can now. This is like fucking brain creep because as soon as I said I'm gonna pick something that I liked, all I can think about is things that I disliked.
Okay, well then just roll with that. It's called a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it is. All right, and that might lead to me something that I did like.
Exactly.
Well, the way. Okay, as soon as fucking Dane shows up and the gates of Emond's Field is opened and Fain rides in with his dark friends in the Trollocs, that like everything else is like an aside because as soon as the gates are opened, you're dead. Like you're not going to stop. I mean, without Fain stopping him, like without the story having it to happen, but like that problem just fundamentally like ruins your defense and makes how Perrin dissolves the situation a little cheaply written. Because, like, it's not like an actual payoff. It's not like a victory in the same way it is in the books. This is just because Perrin convinces one person to stop the battle. And that just cheapens everything that they go through to end it that way.
Oh, what the flying fuck. I agree 100%. And here's what I would have thought might have been better. Yeah. So to your point about in the story, Perrin and Emond's Field and the rest of the Two Rivers rally and actually defeat the Trollocs and beat them back and cause, basically defend the homeland without any help. Like, literally, the Whitecloaks don't do anything.
Yeah.
In this one here, you're right. It does seem like it's less of an impressive victory to just persuade a coward to act in his own interest. Like, okay, tactically, is it a better option in that scenario when they've already breached the gate? Yeah, I guess probably. If you know that weakness of that person, you can exploit it, and you can just basically use the idea of live to fight another day instead of probably guaranteeing our death here. Tactically, sound decision. But if you had rewritten that a little bit so that Loial, instead of dying at the Waygate, did instead close the Waygate in the same way he did in the book, come back, and then he's the one with Bane and Shiad, and somehow you get Faile in there, sometimes somehow you don't, it doesn't matter. They're the ones that can rally the troops, and they start coming independently, and then they fight alongside Perrin. That would have been a way that you could have written that, I think, that would have been closer to the books, that would have been a more satisfying Two Rivers victory as opposed to a compromise victory with both the Whitecloaks and Padden Fane.
Yeah. Behind you.
Whoa, balls!
It's round 4. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that would have definitely... Yeah, that scenario would have been closer to the books and a little more a lot more satisfying. Than the way
it's not that it wasn't satisfying either. Like, yeah, it was still a cool battle and everything, and we got to see it on camera. We got to see it on film, and the special effects were good. And Perrin's, badass moment walking out with his sword and axe and just running train on all these Trollocs, and yeah, that was really, really awesome to see.
No, yeah, definitely.
But that's really just that's kind of where the bar of the show is set, unfortunately. Like so many epic moments feel less epic than I would have hoped they would be. And this is one of them. I mean, that's the disappointing thing about it.
Yeah. It really is, because there's so much good material to work with. And, like, speaking of material, when I rewatched that episode, I had the feeling that they filmed a lot more, like a few hours worth, like, more of content that they had to cut down, because the pacing of the episode just feels so weird. And the battles themselves are like it's split up into a few different segments that are super concentrated and like aren't coherently strung together, and there are parts that just feels like there are massive gaps where you aren't seeing a lot of things. And I mean, like, I know you have to limit what you're showing, but a battle should still more or less, you should understand the flow of it. And when I watched that, I was left rather scratching my head about how everything went down beyond the simple, A to B.
Yeah, we do see a couple, like the fortifications really don't stand much of a chance against them. Slows them down enough. And then the archers kind of let loose, which is dope to see, but they didn't do enough. The archers, I don't know why they would ever have stopped. They were within, how many yards do you think that was? 100 yards tops?
Yeah. Get into the dressing room. Let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, they weren't very far, or they were still far enough that you would just be peppered. And they kept, like, ordering the release. Like, at the point that once the Trollocs reach the initial barricade, you're not going to just continuously tell your people to do it. You're just going to, especially your front archers, they're just going to start shooting until they're out.
And the thing is, that everyone's coming at you from one direction because it's a ravine or a narrow pass that leads to your town.
Yeah.
So that's,
you have them bottlenecked.
You have a bottleneck. I mean, all you would theoretically, I think, just keep shooting them with archers until you don't have arrows. Literally, I mean, there's almost nowhere else for them to go, and they'll start getting blacked up by their own corpses. Like that kind of stuff happens in the last battle all the time, when Trollocs get killed in such masses that they back themselves up.
Yeah.
Icharal plans that shit out, so I know that's a totally different scenario, and a great captain versus TV Perrin.
True. Yeah. No. Yeah. That is you got that, but like you're right though about like the bottleneck and how all that works, but then that's only like the first feign of the attack.
Because then once they breach the gates,
attack.
though, it's like it's all game over. It's all hand-to-hand combat inside a city, and you're gonna lose to a bunch of Trollocs doing that. Like,
yeah, there's
unless you're way outnumbered or you have traps set.
Unless your army is all Lan, just multiplied by a few hundred times.
Oh yeah. You just throw Lan and Matt and Perrin and Rand in there together, and number of Trollocs is really pretty inconsequential. I was thinking Rand like Blade Master Rand.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Blade
Master Rand, when he is fighting the Trollocs, when he recaptures the horn from Padden Fane in the books. When he's he's so deep in the void, and he's like every motion he's doing is keeping him away from Sidin, and it's like the best he's ever fought. That Rand.
Yeah, that is dope as hell, that scene. Another thing about the show, and this is more actually like a criticism a little bit in season 3, what the fuck happened to Tam and Abel? I mean, Abel's a little, Abel's a little bit of a misnomer, because in the show in season 1 he's just a drunk,
which is so weird.
Basically smacks Perrin, and that's all you really get to. Perrin smacks Matt, and that's all you really understand of the character. So
he seems like an abusive drunk.
Yeah, exactly. So you just kind of left with that. But what the fuck happened to Tam during this entire time? Did he go off running to the fucking White Tower to see if Rand's there? Because that doesn't make any sense.
Well, all we know is that he and Abel, I guess, are protecting. I see you. We're protecting the Luhans.
Yeah.
Where the hell is the last one?
Yeah, that's like the most. That's what they say, but still, why are they not back?
They should really have been in charge.
Or you could have at least give Perrin could have gotten the good suggestions from him, and then in the ultimate part be like, at 300 paces, and Perrin looks at him like, why are you out? Yes, okay, fine.
Mm-hmm. They never even cleared a killing field out to 300 paces like they should have.
Yeah.
Again, why not? I mean, I guess that's a lot worse to do, and you got to CGI the trees away because they actually filmed it in a really dope place. So,
yeah,
I guess use the natural terrain of the location, make it look more real. Now that I think about it, that was probably smart to leave it the way it was and just have them work with that instead of destroying a bunch of field or CGIing it away.
No, yeah, CGI, it just wouldn't have. Yeah, because it looks good in the respect that it looks like more or less like a real place. Especially the outshots. Because when you get too close into the set of Emond's Field, you just notice certain things are just off and
off. What do you mean by off?
Shingles aren't darkened or moss colored. The sides of the houses are too perfectly newly not. There's no difference in bleach side. There isn't a bleach effect from the sun, going dang on the lee side or not. There isn't. It's not like the ground has to be like a pigsty, but everything looks a little too clean. And I'm not saying everything needs to look like Tudor England, the way it's described in reality shows. That's cities are dirty and shit like that. Emond's Field was never described as dirty, and they never were trying to make it, but it has a too pristine feel to it that kind of takes you out of the element, especially after the scene, after the first scene you see after the battle, where there's basically no damage to anything.
Yeah,
and
it almost looked like
everything was just perfect.
Filmed that after. Here's what they did. They filmed the after scene before they filmed the battle scene.
Yeah.
Because
that's exactly what it looks like.
Son of a whore.
None of us have Juggernog.
Oh wow, we're not on our game.
Alright, let's go. Let's
go get some Juggernog, yeah.
Yeah, this is sketchy as balls. But no, yeah, so yeah, it's a little too clean.
But that's kind of a small detail.
That's a small detail.
It's a little annoying, but overall, if that were the only problem, I'd be like, wow, I'm really, really reaching.
No,
but
yeah.
It's sort of, it's unfortunate that it's just it's just not as good as I had hoped it to be, and I don't know if that's just because I had my expectations set way too high. I probably did. I don't know, but
no.
Episode 4 was so good, and
yeah,
if they had been able to carry some of that momentum through, it would have been so great. And this wasn't a terrible episode. It did a lot of things that I really liked. We stuck with Perrin. We got to see the entire battle. We got to see individual characters a little bit. We got to see Senbui being, obstinate. We got to see some longbow action. We got to see the women kicking some ass, just like what happened in the book. Fighting hand to hand with Trollocs too, in their own with whatever they had, kitchen knives and scythes. We saw the Tinkers waiting until the end and then running and protecting the children.
Okay, no. Okay, yeah, right there. I gotta address that now. I have no problem with that, but I really disliked how they had Aram pick up the sword. Because in the book, it's a very... the book is just better in this respect, because after he sees his mother die, he then finally... Wait, it is his mother, right?
He sees his mother and his father, his entire family.
Yeah.
Get
everyone but Grandma. Yeah.
And Rain survives, too. I don't know why they killed him off. But, Rain
because
survives.
They couldn't get the actor back, that's why.
Oh, okay, word.
Well, probably. It's the simplest explanation.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter, I guess. It's just kind of
like so in the book, he picks it up because he's finally done with the Way of the Leaf, and he wants to exact revenge and be able to defend himself, and becomes fervently loyal to Perrin because of everything that happens.
Fanatically, dangerously loyal. And that becomes... that gets turned... that loyalty gets turned against him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So there's a lot more of a clear intention there. In the show, it's 100% self-defense, and
it's almost reactionary.
Exactly.
But then again, that's kind of how the first Aiel lost their way at the Way of the Leaf is reactionary. Sister and family got kidnapped and raped, and they went to try to get them back, and in the process trying to get them back, they ended up picking up weapons and killing the people. Defense and reactionary, very much.
It is
there's a parallel, I guess.
Yeah, it is a callback to that flashback, but I just think it's sort of it deprives Aram of a essential element of his character that I think just makes that I think is just going to be lost. It's sad.
It's going to be a little harder to, I guess, connect with the character now.
Yeah, because now he's just a lost one, basically, due to circumstance. It's not because
he didn't intentionally. Because that's the thing, Aram intentionally does it. It's not in self-defense. This is after the danger is past. He's in Emond's Field, and he is in the Wine Spring Inn, and there are weapons that have been set out for the public to be able to get to quickly, and he intentionally picks one up and takes one and wants to learn how to use it to defend himself and kill Trollocs.
Yeah.
There's no reactionary, in the moment stuff.
But there could be... Now, see, this is the part where we're not sure yet. There could be a scene in episode 8. Because, in the book, when he picks up the sword, his grandmother doesn't immediately turn away and says, "You're lost." She tries to get him to put it down and say, "Don't abandon the way." And then he's like, "Why would I? You saw what happened." And then she finally realizes, and then she turns away.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Aram is like, "Grandmother," and then and Perrin's just like, "Go find Tam. He'll teach you the sword." And that's how it goes. So I guess there could still be that moment of determination where he might pick up another sword again, and then... Because all you do is not see them talk, but you don't necessarily know if that means he's exiled yet or not. But that's also assuming that they come back to the Two Rivers in season 8. In season 8, lol. In episode 8.
Yeah, because I don't see how we're gonna have them have time to go back to the Two Rivers in a meaningful way, right? I mean, isn't there a lot to do in one episode?
I can see them do it.
Maybe for a couple minutes, a couple scenes tops, right? There's no.
No, I mean
meaningful.
No. I mean enough time to rescue Perrin.
So we're gonna rescue Perrin, and then we've got Matt, Nynaeve, Elaine, and Min and Tarabon are gonna have to have some kind of a showdown, ostensibly, within the Punarch's palace with Moghedien, Leandrin, and whomever.
Yeah, that's gonna happen, and then all Rand needs to do is declare what he saw, break the clans, have Couladin freak out, and that's all he only needs 3 scenes. He's 4 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, dude, this is like the Dragon Reborn book. It's called The Dragon Reborn, and we never see a Dragon Reborn. And this show is all about Rand, and we never see Rand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except that we had the great episode with Ruiden, which is an entire episode dedicated to Rand. So You know, it's not completely fair.
But it isn't actually. I mean, like,
do
it's
feel like
dedicated to Rand, but it isn't to Rand's story. It's to Rand's past. I mean, and that is like it's a. I'm obviously not diminishing. I love the fucking episode, but it doesn't actually move his storyline forward in the same way that all the women's storylines are constantly being pushed forward, and the men's are being sidelined into B quests that you would see in like fucking Legend of Zelda.
Except we get an entire episode dedicated to Perrin. We've gotten the entire episode in the Waste, and then the next half of the episode dedicated to stuff in the Waste as well. And Rand has a pretty cool channeling moment against a Forsaken, and
which lasts less than a minute.
Oh, I agree.
And he does nothing in the Waste beyond that. All he's doing is just looking around. Most of the Waste is with Ewgene.
Gas. Yeah, a lot of it is, and Ewgene gets leveled up faster than Nynaeve does. Like, it's crazy. She has all this dream ability now, where she can just take Moraine into the dream with her, coach someone. And I don't know how much time has passed, but it doesn't seem like that much time. And then the way that she blurts out to the wise ones that she's not an Aes Sedai, like, I mean, yeah, that kind of happens, but it absolutely happens. But it's way more planned, and it's way later, and it's not.
And she gets the
like
shit
that.
beat out of her for it.
Yeah, and she has a lot to answer for after that, because she lied to them for a long time, and
yeah, and the wise ones are so okay. She's like, yeah, I lied about it.
That happens after the tower has split, and Ewgene has been called back to become the Merlin. Like, for fuck's sake, we're
none
so
of that
far
shit
away
has
from
happened
that.
yet.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And then Nynaeve, God bless it, it is so frustrating because she's actually kind of a great character, like personality-wise and sympathy-wise.
Especially season 3.
Yeah.
Like, she's a really good character so far in this
But I really wish that...
But she's just not allowed to do anything.
Yeah, she doesn't do much, which is really frustrating. Like, she wants to heal Matt, but we never see her channeling. She doesn't... In the books, she channels all the time. Like, it's implied that she's like the Hulk, her secret is she's always angry so she can channel. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to be angry, but she does it a whole lot.
Yeah, there's never this long of a time period where she's just very idle, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing she really does is, be able to resist Moghedien's compulsion before she finally gives in and gives the bracelet to Moghedien. Which is, in and of itself, pretty
box.
good.
That's what we should do, since we've got a Happy floating around here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
which is a pretty good feat.
That was a great scene. I know that was definitely not a scene in this last episode, but that was such a great scene. I think any scene with her is now going to be a pretty good scene. She's sort of like...
yeah.
Moghedien.
Yeah.
She's sort of like... I don't even want that gun.
Yeah, she's like she pulls off the character in a really unique way, because I was never, like, I know we've talked about this before, but like, I was never quite sure how someone would portray Moghedien, because parts of like she's a, like the way her character is described is it's like I mean, you get the sense of like the spiderness and working in the shadows and shit like that, but there's a certain type of craziness that's there too that is hard to like kind of manifest, and the actress who plays her, I mean, plays her craziness really well.
Great job. Yeah, and she's the of the Forsaken that have like real personalities, she's developed one now. Ishamael was great, so I hope they bring him back again. They can do that. I know that normally the body switching stuff, he comes back. Just bring him back and have him call him Moradin. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, I like the far as however you don't pronounce his name.
Yeah, so I like him. Samael doesn't really have much of a personality yet. He's just sort of angry Scottish dude.
Yeah.
Who is apparently just literally orders of magnitude weaker than Rand. I mean, Rand just kicks his ass nonchalantly. If that's if that's the right word. But no,
it is the right word. I mean, his back is turned to him the entire time. I can't think of a more like, fuck you, you're so beneath me, I don't even need to look at you. I can expose my vulnerable backside to you, and you have nothing on me.
And you see his shield. They just completely shields everything, doesn't even seem to weaken at all. And then we saw Daze Conger throw up a shield with her untrained powers, and she was just holding that up against arrows. Yeah, so that's a I know, really unfair to compare Daze Conger with the Dragon Reborn,
but it's a good power showing. Like that's how like that. I mean, like, and this like that was like one of the first times where you see Rand channel and you actually like, oh shit, he's actually doing something.
Yeah. So whenever he channels through Kalendor, I guess it will be, I don't want to see any of this weird like seizure weird stuff happening, like what happened with Moraine when she had Sakarnan.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
I mean, if that's what it looks like to draw too much through it, fine. If that's just what they think it looks like to use it because it's amazing, not chill. But I don't think so. I think she's pretty. She was pretty clear, if I remember, that it was overwhelming. And dangerous. And he was like, you have to fight it. And she's like, oh, I can't fight it. I'll have to surrender to it. And yeah, that's the difference between side in and side R moment that Rand needed, I guess, or another one.
Yeah.
Fuck the stairs, God damn it.
Yeah, I always kind of took that more literally, though, that, like, you can submit to your own power, but you can't actually submit to the most powerful Sangreal.
God bless it. There we go. Did not want to hit that.
I'm in the theater.
I'm running down towards there. Hang out there for a moment.
Yeah, alright. Another thing, I don't know, like, I don't dislike it, but I don't like it either, Loial's death.
Yeah.
It's a middling point where I can see benefits and retractions at the same time, and just like not really sure what to make of it. Yeah, like, it's a depressing thought, yeah, because Loial in the books is such an amazing character and does so many different small things and the personality of him. And then his old little, like, you know, love story with Eardeth? Oh, no, how would you pronounce it?
Oh, gosh. I had it until you said it. Now Aerith.
Yeah, Eardeth. So, like, that's really sweet, and I really like it. And he's got this amazing kind of, like, boyish innocence that, like, he keeps the entire show, movies, books, bloody hell. He keeps the whole book series. And, I mean, like, even until the end, he still has that, like, sort of, I don't know, like, boyish grin and flat ears when embarrassed.
Yeah. Unsure of himself, even though he's 90 years old. But that's you know, like 20 years old for them, apparently.
Needs his wife to finally be able to stand up to his mother. It's a really nice, wholesome, old school kind of vibe of a dude and a
box.
Yeah. So but he doesn't, for all the gushing we just gave of Loial, but he doesn't perform so many massive things, especially after this point that we are in the book series, because there's things he does in the first few books that are really crucial. Like, if Loial wasn't there for the Hunt of the Horn, dude, I think Rand fails.
If Loial isn't there to guide them through the ways, no one gets through the ways twice.
Yeah.
That means that, you know, they would have to be spending many months traveling to Emond's Field instead of days, both times. God, man, I'm not getting lucky with these weapons. I really don't care for this very much, but I guess I'll take it. I'll try one more time.
Yeah, I'll give it a try too. So yeah, like his death though, like I don't know.
Nope,
like,
no, you're not.
Oh, Balzamon. Well, then I'll get this. But yeah, like I know he stops the reinforcements, so it's like a heroic death in it of itself.
It is.
I mean, I assume he's dead because I mean, like, it would be really stupid to have that scene and have the character come back.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're trying to like do some really weird ass foreshadowing for Moraine, that doesn't make sense either. Ooh, Fox is over here.
That'd be really weird.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm assuming he's dead because that's the only scenario that makes sense. So let's get ready.
What might have been kind of cool if I had thought about this before is use Loial the way he's often used in the books as well. And he's not used as a character in the books often as much, but he is used as a narrator in the books a lot, in chapter headings and subheadings and excerpts from his book. And you know, I mean, there's a part of it is like, oh yeah, well, if you have a character who's a narrator, then you know it's all going to turn out well and it lowers the stakes, yada yada yada. And to a certain extent, that's true. But
we're also talking about a book, a TV show based on a book series that's been done for the last decade.
And I don't even, and even
Plus.
if that weren't like, that's one argument. But let's say this is a person who hasn't read the books and doesn't care to, and they consume their fantasy through television, which is fine.
Even then, the counter argument to it is that the narrator, just because there's a narrator, does not mean it has a happy ending.
No,
the narrator has no emotional
you misunderstand me. The narrator is a character you see. So if the narrator is telling about events that happened in the past, like Loial does, he says, the wind he came, and like the wind touched everything, and like the wind was gone. You know, it's all past tense. It's all happening like after the fact. You know that he's the one who's written it afterwards. So theoretically, it takes the mystery out because, like, oh, well, we know it's going to happen. And I'm pretty sure I don't like that because I don't think it's ever in question from the very, very beginning of the series that Rand is going to fail. There was never, like, a moment where I thought this was how it was going to end. Irrespective of having a narrator who was telling you some excerpts of his book about what happened in the future, speaking in the past tense, that even didn't enter into it. Like, no one watching this ever thinks that Rand's going to die. Right? No, it's like, oh yeah, the main character, the Dragon Reborn, is gonna die, and somehow it's gonna fix itself there. Like, no one believes that. Everybody fucking knew that good triumphs over evil. Everybody knew that this is the story that you're reading. You're not reading a turning of the wheel where it all goes tits up and loose there and like goes insane again or something. No. Why would Robert Jordan write that story? No, you know in your heart that Rand is gonna make it. And that's why it's so frustrating when you see him, you know, crumbling and going mad and doing crazy shit that he doesn't realize is crazy, because you know it's going to work out and you can't wait for it to happen, and you're like, how much longer can he do this and how much worse can it get? And then when it finally pays off, just because you knew it was going to come didn't make it any less amazing and any less satisfying. So have Loial be the narrator of the story. They should have done that, and that would have been awesome, because the third-person narrator is sometimes what you need in a fantasy world to explain what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're definitely right. And also, you could have had him be narrating this entire time, and after his death, you could still have it go on just him still doing it.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Because it would just, because like you like the I mean, you could either explain it away or not, but like in my mind I would just have like the narration continue, and it would just be like like the wheel weaves as the wheel wills. Well, the wheel weaves that you get to hear his voice, even though he's not there.
And why? Because we're in Fantasyland, and he's got a great speaking voice.
Yeah, he does.
Poor Loial. He will be missed. I agree with you. I think he's not coming back. It'd be silly to bring him back. Like, that's just, that's a very final death. He had his sweet goodbye moment with Perrin. Like,
unless there's just like a fucking bridge right under where he fell, and he just lands perfectly 20 feet down,
and then like crawls his way out and goes to a different waygate, and then
I really hope though that he's dead, because.
Yeah, if you're gonna have him go out like that, have it mean something, and you did. So, goodbye, Loial.
Yeah, goodbye, Loial. And then this brings me, I guess, to the final really annoying part that I have: fucking Perrin giving himself up to the Whitecloaks. That shite annoys me, because there are only a very few select ways of getting out of that. In the way they've written, how they've written themselves into a corner, basically, and all of them.
How is he getting himself out of that?
Yeah, because he's not going to be able to Taviran himself up to get out of it, because by the just by the nature of the charges, like the argument wouldn't even frickin' work. That you killed my father. Yes, I did. I've already admitted to it. Well, you've killed an officer of the light. You're guilty. Kill him. So that's already out of the question. So you either have to have someone rescue him, because he's not going to bust out himself, because that makes no sense. So
and you can't have a Queen Morgase situation where you have a ruler come and adjudicate what happens, because we're way too far away from that being a possibility in this world.
Yeah.
Even if that's how it kind of rolls out.
Sense.
So yeah, there's I don't think they're going to be able to have one of those like permanent resolutions to this. Obviously, it's not going to be something that, okay, now they're friends and stuff. Even though, arguably, I think you know,
they sort of
did enough right there to more than atone for that dude's death. He because he recognized who Patten Fane was, it did give them a split extra second to overcome their shock and surprise and organize and try to fight back against the Trollocs and the Dark Friends and the evil Whitecloaks and the Patten Fanes of the attacking force. So
yeah.
Either way, and then he saw him fight against them. You know, he saw the people of the Two Rivers die. Like in it, like, and he's not the same Dane Bornhald as in the books. He's definitely a massive alcoholic. Definitely pissed off that Perrin killed his father. And in this one here, Perrin did actually kill his father. In the book, he didn't. He just was sort of in the same place at the same time. As were many, many people who also didn't kill his father.
Yeah. So I think that, like, I mean, my guess is fucking Faile will sneak in with, like, maybe Baden Shiad, and who knows, maybe Will and other apprentice homeboy Smith.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, small ragtag team will go in, bust him out in a sort of reminiscent way, or they might do something similar, like while simultaneously like the busting out happens, or like trying to get him, someone in the ranks pulls the book in Eye of the World and lets him go in the hopes that whilst he's escaping, he can then kill him, Perrin. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That they could try to shoehorn that in too.
But Jared Bayard does do that to him. He wants to let him loose, so he gives him a sharp rock.
Yeah.
It all doesn't matter because they end up getting rescued anyway that same night. But they would have gotten away with it theoretically.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
that could be a possibility. Another one that is probably an outside possibility. You know, we were talking about Tam and Abel and the Luhans.
Yeah.
And we could theoretically see this be tied together with Tam, Abel, and Master Luhan or something like that coming to rescue them, knowing that Perrin's there, and I don't know. And then Master Luhan or another Luhan. It's not the Luhan. Sorry, gosh, it's it's Perrin's family, the Ibaras. Gosh, I had that backwards. I had the book stuff conflated with the show stuff. The Ibaras are with Tam and Abel. So Tam and Abel come with the Ibaras, and they try to rescue Perrin.
Yeah.
Because they've got the family connection there.
That could work too. Either or, though, someone's going to bloody rescue him.
God, it's kind of confusing to kind of keep the changes straight when they change like entire families around for reasons.
Yeah, it is really hard. Like, yeah, why burn Natty?
Wah.
It's not like you needed a reason to hate the Whitecloaks more.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Well, and the way they're real casual about it too. Like, I guess it's supposed to show a little bit of like the banality of evil. You know, Valda just seems. Well, no, he gets off on it, doesn't it? He looks real happy about it. So that's not banality of evil. That's just straight up like he's
a psychopath.
The freakiness of evil right there. I'm glad he's dead.
Yes.
So, which makes you think that they're not going to have nearly as much Galad and Gawain stuff as in the books.
I mean, like, they've changed so much from the books that it's kind of hard to even guess what they'll keep and what they'll try to morph into something else.
And we really don't know what the situation looks like. Like, here's the thing that Amazon kind of needs to decide, I think. They can't just say, we're going to greenlight it for Season 4. They need to say, no, we're going to greenlight it through Season 8. Yeah. We're going to give you all the all those 5 seasons you wanted, because leaving the writers in a state of limbo of should we wrap this up? Do we get to keep going? Are we going to be writing another season? Or are we just going to be leaving this as an unfinished thing, and maybe Amazon will deign to allow us to make a 2-hour movie that might get a theatrical release or something? How cool would that be? Like Serenity, you know? That would be so disappointing if they do it that way. I really hope that they don't just piecemeal do it. They just send it. Full send it, like Just go for it. Bezos, you have the money. Amazon, you are the giant of the e-commerce world, and Temu and all those places are now sanctioned to high hell, or not sanctioned, tariffed. So it's all you, baby.
Yeah, that would be just freaking greenlight the whole show. You have enough money to do it. It's like, it would help the writers completely understand that, like, all right, we have the freedom now to take a little more of a breath and develop certain plot lines that need overarching seasons to develop.
These characters have lots of stuff to do, basically, as characters, as growing and changing and develop and evolving.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go pack a punch. Oh wait, never mind. Let me wait. You're close. Do you have a gun that you want to pack a punch?
Well, I have the Loial if I can keep it I have a Python too.
Okay. All right, let's finish this round and
die, bitch. Yeah. I mean, overall, I mean, I'm glad the episode, the best thing about the episode, as we said at the beginning, it was a whole fucking episode dedicated to one part of the story. Not a buttload of cutscenes to Rand or to Chanchico to take away from the story. It was just what was happening in the Two Rivers. I greatly appreciate that.
Yep.
And as for the next episode,
I was just about to ask.
So Lanfear and what's her nuts? Moraine are definitely, we know they're gonna have a showdown. How big of a showdown that's gonna be is going to be determined, I guess. And then also, I'm kind of curious how Moraine, because if she holds the Sakarnan, there's no way for Lanfear to really get the power drop on her, because she will just be that much more powerful than Lanfear.
This is probably the moment where Lanfear steals the Sakarnan at first.
Yeah, something like that has to happen.
And because she does in this scene in the book, if we're gonna assume they're gonna take some stuff out of it, Lanfear does overpower everybody basically because she has an Angreal or a Sangreal, or she has something that gives her just way more power, and she's able to pretty much she's stronger than Rand is at that moment.
Yeah.
Now, Rand's weakness regarding women notwithstanding, she's more powerful as a channeler in that moment as well.
Yeah.
So she would probably, I think that would be reasonable to assume that she's going to do something similar. She's going to steal the Sakarnan and freak out and threaten to kill Elaine or Avienda or Ewgene or something. Or no, Elaine, obviously she's not in the waste. Avienda or Ewgene. Probably Ewgene.
Probably Ewgene, because Avienda, at this point, there is no connection there.
Yeah.
And even in Elaine, there's been no hint, really.
She just, there's some little, drops where she's teaching him, whatever it's called,
Statecraft.
Statecraft, yes, thank you.
Oh, RPK behind you.
Oh, nice. Fuck, okay. I couldn't decide which gun to give up. I was like, do I give up the Loial or the Commando? Loial or Commando? It's the impossible decision.
Fucking CZ75, fuck that shit.
I mean, come on. Wonderful gun.
No, I have a Python, Brett. I mean,
I got a Loial again. Well, I already made that decision. I'm keeping the Commando.
Yeah, so that will definitely happen. I don't know if this, now that the real wild card is how they resolve this, because I'm going to guess that in Alkir Dal there isn't a red twisted door frame for them both to fall through.
So there has to be some other way for them to get into the realm of the Eilfin and the Eilfin.
Yeah, or do they save that for Tyr?
This penultimate battle between the two of them?
Yeah, could it
be
that she doesn't actually die here? That in episode 8, that it'll just be maybe Rand will actually have a god moment. I mean, make what he did with Samael look like nothing, and he'll
honestly,
enough and shove both of them.
There are a lot of good reasons to do it that way. Chief among them, keeping Rosamund Pike in the show longer.
Yeah,
because she's probably one of the better representations of the characters, in my opinion, mostly, except for some of the weird writing choices, but that's not necessarily in her control. But she's also hugely involved with the books and an audiobook form right now as well. So she's intimately familiar. So the more you can keep her both as a cast member and as a member of the production, like around it day to day, the better.
Well, she's also an executive producer.
Yeah,
at least on season 3. So I
she'll probably
assume that
still
she'll be going forward too. Yeah.
And then I like seeing her on screen. And another great reason, you already brought it up, free up time for Rand to have some kind of a awesome, satisfying season finale that's beyond just giving a speech again or something.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty dope. Okay, let's pack a punch.
Pack a punch,
Let's take care of this last.
So yeah, I kind of think there'll definitely be a battle between them, but like, whether something happens to her or not remains to be seen, and what potentiality like what fallout will there be on Egwene maybe? Because at this point, you can't really go you can't go off the books. What happens? You're just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, she told the wise ones, but they didn't seem to give two shits. Well, they seemed to get mad, but not. Did they Did they say anything about we're going to defer this till later or something? I don't remember hearing that. But okay, so he just got kind of mad and that was it, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So let's see what comes out of that. Obviously, Nynaeve's going to have an OP moment against Moghedien. They should have.
Yeah, there has to be. Yeah, there has to be. There was one of the stills that was released a while back. Definitely looked like Jane Kincaid with what I shooting what I assume to be some balefire.
Okay, so she's got the rod.
Yeah, so that could be cool. Like, however they're going to film the Penarch's Palace battle, that should be a fun display of power. And as you said, Nynaeve better fucking do some amazing shit there, because, well, I mean, Elaine does not have the ability to do all that by herself, especially with Moghedien in the mix.
Well, and they're supposed to be doing other stuff in there. I mean, I don't know how much of the politics are going to come into this episode, but there's a reason they split up and don't tag team Moghedien. One person is set to find Amathera and free her from the Dark Friends' clutches, and the
I'm going to say that is definitely not in the story.
That's what I would assume as well.
Because they haven't even hinted at any of the Terabon
Civil War.
Yeah, so I'm just going to assume that whole part is... Alright, reload. Is moot.
I am reloaded. I should probably buy like a speed cola or something fun like that.
I'm going to try the box really quickly once more. So yeah, that's what I would assume that's going to go on there. And some sort of... motherfucker. Dual-wield CZs or a Python. Oh, fuck it, dual-wield.
Probably the dual-wield CZs for sure.
Yeah, at least they're more or less useful, yeah. So yeah, so there'll be that. Jesus Christ, dear audience. There'll be that battle to look forward to, and hopefully that's going to be pretty freaking epic. I'm not really sure exactly what role Min will play in that battle specifically, or Matt or Tom, considering that, I mean, all three of them are very vulnerable to the power at this point.
Well, at some point, Matt's going to go in through the twisted stone door frame, which I assume is in the palace as well. So maybe in the course of the battle he falls through it, or when he's in, I don't know why. I really don't know how that's going to work out.
I was more assuming that it would be not in the palace, but probably in Tyr, because the High Lords collect.
Well, but there's already promo photos of him out there wearing the Foxhead medallion for this season.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I biffed it.
Well, okay, then yeah, he might. But
yeah, I just don't know why he's going to go through or how he's going to go through. If he's going to get pushed through, if he's going to walk through voluntarily.
He's not going to walk through. Oh, fudge. I don't have things anymore.
Oh,
there's no way in hell to save you. There's a huge freaking horde.
No. Actually, that may be to our benefit because for better or for worse. Yeah.
I'm getting hungry. All right, so then to finish this off,
As I lay dying in the valley of the shadow of Thakandar.
Yes, exactly. Matt may or may not go through the stone door. Who knows? I guess we'll see. I still maintain that Perrin probably will be rescued. for some reason, by Faile or some combination as we talked earlier. And then Rand will, he has to declare himself as Karakar and Elkir Dal. So that will definitely, and we've already seen that, like the small stills and little videos in the teaser, and I was like, wait, that looks way too small, and that does not look like what it is, but whatever. And then he's got to reveal what he saw and break some of the Aiel. Couladin's got to freak out and run away. I don't know if there'll be any type of battle between them. It could just be like a retreat, or they'll like leave that as a cliffhanger or whatever. And I guess, and then the other, like, what happens between Moraine and Lanfear.
Yeah, that's, when you list it all out, it's a lot. There's a lot on their plate for this episode. We'll see how well it goes on Thursday.
Yep. Yeah, we will.
The penultimate episode of Season 3. And hopefully we get good news after that it's been renewed for, another 4 or 5 seasons. And then we can have a satisfying conclusion, the possibility of a satisfying conclusion in the future.
Yeah, that would be brilliant, but I kind of doubt it. Not mostly because, A, because I doubt Amazon is willing to commit to that, but B, because of the negotiations between Amazon and, Sony to secure the next season. Who knows what type of weird-ass fucking lawyer bullshit is going on.
Oh my god, that would be the worst thing ever. The worst timeline is it becomes an IP nightmare in a battle, and it never goes forward again, and... that'd be...
It's quite possible that is what will happen. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I think that is a successful recap of what happened in Episode 7 and a successful prognostication for what will happen in Episode 8.
Indeed. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us get murdered by zombies. Hope you enjoyed our discussion. Let us know what you thought about the episode and what you're thinking for the upcoming finale. And until then, have fun.
Yeah.
Stay sane.
Stay sane, be good, and sayonara.